Um, so KRBY, we've been featured artist tonight. KRBY from the LA area. We've played her music on the show not too long ago. Dave, I think, was saying it was 6 weeks ago, but I think it's a little bit longer than that, possibly. But she has a new single out called "Sexual Healing," which has been out for a while, and she just seems like a cool girl. So I wanted to have her on the show and make her a featured artist. So KRBY, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Doing great. Thank you very much. So as people know who watch the show, this is when we let you kind of just give your spiel about who you are and what you're doing with your music. Let us know about, why you chose to do Sexual Healing. It's a cover song, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I mean, I did kind of reduce, like I removed the original chorus from the song, kind of like made it my own little outro. So it's more of a tribute, but still a cover. I actually ended up doing that because my friend needed it. She wanted to play Sexual Healing itself, like the actual Marvin Gaye track, in a short film. And I don't remember why I had done the instrumental. I was playing around and I'd created the instrumental. I was like, I no joke have an instrumental of Sexual Healing. I can record it, and then, you're not paying as much, you're not worried about the same kind of copyrights when you're doing a cover. And she was like, yeah. So I literally went home that night and recorded the vocals in my closet at the time, in my old apartment in Silver Lake. And the delay that's on it was actually created by the closet, old style,
Closet reverb, yeah.
Cool. So we'll go ahead and check out that tune, then we'll come back and get deeper with Dave. So Rob, when you're ready, Sexual Healing. We'll be right back.
Some people call you KRBY, some call you Katie, your real name. So how are you tonight?
I'm hanging in there.
That's great. I'm glad to have you here. So I find out before the show you're from Chicago, my old playground. Did you play a lot of live shows in Chicago, and what venues?
I did, but not like the stuff that you're hearing now. That's kind of the direction I've gone since I moved to LA. When I was in Chicago, I was in several different bands, starting, I want to say 2005 or 2006, Stiletto Attack. And then I was in 3 bands at one time, Locker Room Talk, My Valoria, and Trejo. And
that's some good names.
DJing at that point, and so it was crazy.
I'd be afraid to go to a Stiletto Attack show.
Right, and I didn't wear stilettos because I had to play the drums, but the lead singer and the bass player did. And the lead singer's in St. Louis. She's still doing music. The bass player was really funny. She was like an actress. She was in a couple things back in the early 2000s, like Curb Your Enthusiasm or something.
Nice.
But
That's
yeah,
pretty
the
cool.
last band I was in was a Queen cover band. It was all chicks except for one guy, so that was pretty cool. And we were doing the Queen thing before the whole movie, and I was talking about Break Free back then, you know. So the new
Gotcha.
people on that, they're fair weather fans, as we say in Chicago.
All right, cool. So any interesting story here, just doing a little research on what's behind the project. So you moved to Los Angeles, but before you did, you actually did this project. So it sounds like it was like a gift to your mom to have this collection of Christmas songs. And
Yeah.
then after you moved, it just kind of kept building up steam somehow and it ended up becoming an album. Why don't you just explain that
Correct.
whole project? Yeah.
Yeah, that year I had an injury, so I was like home from work. I couldn't work, and but I could, sing. And I was actually on the mouse, with my little finger movement that I had producing with synths, and I wrote most of the MIDI notes because it was even hard to play keyboards at that point. But my mom's favorite Christmas song I remembered from my childhood was "Oh Holy Night." And I did that, and it was originally me and my sister singing, but it was like a very last minute thrown together thing. And so I ended up putting a different vocalist on it later when I moved to LA. But yeah, it did really well. People liked it, and people were playing it and talking about it in the summer. And then I got to LA and met a bunch of new musicians, and they wanted to get on it. So it just kind of went from there.
Did that project like delay releasing your other music or so? Like what happened? It just like you didn't expect it to just kind of keep bumping along or what?
A little bit of, I didn't expect to turn it into a full album. It was kind of originally intended to just be a quick EP. So it definitely, it was a combination of it becoming a bigger thing and also a little bit underestimating all of the work and stuff that goes into not just producing, mixing, and mastering, which I did all of it, but also the promotional stuff. That was something I had to kind of learn as I went, and I've only been doing recently.
What do you think? Every year? You think you're gonna do it every year now? Something fresh?
I don't
I
think
mean, there's only so many Christmas songs, so how many can you like,
exactly. Yeah, so I don't think I'm going to do it every year, but I have talked about putting out like a volume 2 at some point, but after I did sign with like a label, and I had a PR guy, and he kind of pushed me in the direction of doing my own stuff, because he's like, you really only can promote Christmas from Thanksgiving to maybe New Year's Eve. He's like, you're a writer, get your real stuff out, and then come back to the Christmas stuff later when you've got more of a following. And I definitely have a lot of stuff I need to get out. So
you never know how it pans out though. I mean, I think that's the most common advice, to do that, but I don't know. I mean, it seemed like it sparked something, it sparked a lot of interest in it. I don't know. But anyway, so website, if people want to just kind of see some of your past music, sexual healing, anything you're working on, I got krby.me. Is that your main site?
that is.
All right. How about social handles?
At KRBY Music, so KRBY Music. And that's on Twitter, SoundCloud, Facebook, Instagram. I even have some stuff up on Reverb Nation.
That site's still going? Jeez.
I know, right?
Like the MySpace of.
Yeah, it is.
Honestly, that came to mind, and I was going to make a MySpace joke, but I was.
I have another question I forgot to ask you though, was about like your music. You're kind of a one-woman show, right, in terms of production and playing the parts, singing and all that stuff. I guess if the plan is to continue to play live more and maybe tour and everything, I mean, are you at that place right now where you're trying to figure out who your bandmates will be, or what's the plan?
I just started getting offers for like actual like live shows from like universities, and I even got approached by a tour opportunity, and so I've had to start thinking about that, and I wasn't planning on thinking about that this soon. I was going to work on putting out an album and doing digital stuff, but I do have to think about that and address that at some point. I'm not sure if I want to be like singing from the drums, or if I'm going to go more of like a Chainsmokers vibe where they're kind of half DJ, half live vocal. That seems like something that would be easier to get going early and then maybe evolve into a full-on live band production.
Yeah, one
But-
of our critics, Jared Padone, he's been on our show, maybe 25, 30 times or something. It's same situation. He's got awesome music, but he writes and plays all the parts, and he hardly ever plays live because he doesn't have a band. So it's kind of interesting. But anyway, yeah.
In the digital age too, sometimes it's hard to recreate everything live that you can do in production.
Right. All right, so we're going to move on to the next tune. It was awesome having you here.
Yes.
We'd love to have you back to become the next Matt Specht.
I'm in.
I mean, imagine that. You can be the next Specht.
I'm sure you're much more on time than me too.
Yeah.
Yes, I'll take it.